It's finally time to start playing some games here in our Vanderbilt Dynasty. Week 1 going against Virginia Tech, who has 3 overalls higher than our team. Going to be a tough Week 1 matchup, but before we hop into it, I want to update you on the progress here in recruiting. Last episode, we identified the 6 players that we're going to go full force after here to start the year. Jim Haynes, a gem 4-star receiver, 91 speed, really good route running. We're going against Clemson and Kansas, it looks like so far for this guy, but I think we have a shot. We're going to stick with it. Trevante Baldridge is a player that I really want here. He has 86 speed, 82 strength, 81 tackle, 81 power moves. I think this guy's going to be an absolute beast. We're up to 3rd on him, not going to be easy. Already up to 1st place here on Eli Flynn, just not heavily recruited so far, but 93 strength on this guy, pretty decent speed as well. A lot of ratings there in the 80s. I think he's going to be an excellent interior offensive lineman. Another interior offensive lineman here is Jake Kuhn, another guy who's not really being heavily recruited at all. Mostly, I think, because he's listed as an athlete, but 78 speed, 91 strength, really good athlete here, which is why he's labeled as such, but I think he's going to be an awesome future center. McCreary is a really talented finesse rushing defensive tackle that I'm excited to pursue. And then 6'4", 95 speed, Isaac Hendricks rounds out the top 6. And only the last 2 are not considered gems. Hendricks will be pretty heavily contested, already has 2 other offers. So how do we spend the rest of our 200 hours? My first thing that I'm going to do is to try and find ourselves a couple of 3-star speedy quarterbacks. Jared Slade, it looks like he wants to go to Virginia Tech, so we'll pass on him. What about Raheem Neal? He wants to be close to home, does have an offer, but he doesn't seem to like it all that much. And then we have Lewis Brady here, who already has us on the top of his list, or towards the top at least, without us having offered him a scholarship. We'll scout those 2 guys. Next thing I did is I went to our recommended tab and just looked for 3-star prospects who had not been offered any scholarships yet. We'll add a few of those to our board. Seems like, if we are interested in them because they haven't been offered yet, we probably have an inside track on signing them easily, which is what I want to do here with these spots after our top 6. I want to get guys that we won't necessarily have to send the full house for to get. Lewis Brady here looks like an even better athlete. Somehow Leal was a bust despite being extremely athletic. Brady's just slightly more athletic with a higher throw power and not a bust, so we're going to offer a contract to him. Connor Duck is a gem of a run-stopping middle linebacker with 86 speed. Found another gem here with Josh Buchanan, really good block shedder, so we'll offer him a scholarship here. And then we're going to have to wait with these other 2 guys, I think, because we have to start actually putting some time into the players that we have scouted that we liked. Didn't expect to find so many gems, but so far we're getting a lot of luck here with the gems. So that's what we're adding here to the board ahead of this first game. We'll take a look at these next 2 guys a little bit later. It's now time to kick things off at home for our first game going against Virginia Tech. Can the home field advantage help boost the fact that we are outgunned a little bit here in this game? I certainly hope it can. Was a little disappointed not to see the anything custom for this Vanderbilt home field introduction. No dropping the anchor or anything of the sort. Hopefully it gets added at some point here via a patch. Now you might be wondering, why are we looking at the game this way? I know as of last episode, I said I was planning on playing this Dynasty in Heisman difficulty, but I spent a lot of time after recording that last night playing a lot of games, and really at my core, this channel has always been a CPU versus CPU franchise style of channel. It's where my passion lies, and I know I did put out a poll, and a lot of people supported making this a gameplay series rather than a CPU series, but for you who want gameplay on Heisman difficulty in College Football 25 on this channel. Fret not, I do have plans to have maybe 2 series going at the same time here for College Football 25. But for my main one, I really wanted to stick with my roots as a CPU channel. I think this is an excellent way to keep the focus on building a team. As you see, our defense comes up with a turnover on our very first possession of the series. So I know not everyone's going to be happy with this decision, and I apologize to anyone who was really looking forward to this being a Heisman level challenge. But ultimately, this is just the kind of franchise / dynasty that I have the most fun with. Awesome to see our superstar safety, CJ Taylor, already making an impact. Now we get to see Johnson's trot out at quarterback for the first time. He has the most speed in the entire game at the quarterback position. I'm so excited to see what he can do with this offense. And you get to see a bit of a sneak peek of this hurry up that they've incorporated in this game. Very different to what you see in Madden. And I think helps with the freshness of the feel. And we quickly turn the turnover into 6. Going to the second string tight end out of the hurry up, capitalizing on getting a very solid gain on first down to start the drive. We go hurry up, and Cole Spence, the first to put points on the board for the Vanderbilt Commodores here in the 2024 season. Defense back out onto the field, and we get a quick bubble screen, and a nice juke will get a Virginia Tech first down. 2nd and 8, going into the flats once more, and Virginia Tech having some success with these RPO bubble screens. First down now. At the 42-yard line, man in motion for Virginia Tech, and they hand it off to the back, a very talented back at that, and he's going to be tough to bring down all game long for this Vanderbilt defense. Ranked as one of the worst in the entire country last year, not ranking inside the top 100 in any of the major categories. There is a long way to go to retooling this defense. Hopefully, this first recruiting class can go a long way towards it, but so far, you gotta like what you're seeing from this defense, forcing a turnover and then forcing a very long field goal attempt. 53 yards, it is up and good. Virginia Tech is on the board, courtesy of the kicker wearing number 97. Not every day you see that. We get a completion, and a big one at that. Plenty of room after the catch down that left sideline, all the way to midfield, all ready for this Vanderbilt offense. Down to 4 minutes to play here in the first quarter. Nathan Johnson flanked on either side with a back. Play action. He's looking to load up deep, and he's got a man. The tight end, Stower, able to make an early impact on this game. He already had a really big catch in the first drive. Here he comes up with another. 1st and 10 from the 33. Throwing underneath, and it's caught once more. So far, getting number 3 involved, and I apologize I don't quite yet have everybody's name on the team memorized. I will pretty soon enough, but Nathan Johnson there on 3rd and 10, forced to come up short there, avoid taking the hit, and looks like these two teams will be exchanging field goals here to start this one out. 10-3 as we head into another Virginia Tech drive. Check down underneath to the running back, and he gets the first. 2nd and 7, they fake it to him and throw over the middle to Allie Jennings, their star wide receiver. He is quite talented. Somebody that they should be featuring quite heavily here. 3rd and 3. Inside field goal range once more is Virginia Tech, and they give to the running back, and a nice play by Patterson at linebacker to hold him up short, forcing another field goal attempt here. This one not quite as long, but still 45 yards, no guarantee, and it is off the crossbar and out. No good for Virginia Tech, and we take over. But we give the ball right back. You've got to be kidding me. The Commodores get a lucky break with the missed field goal and instantly give the ball back to Virginia Tech. Jalen Stroman will be credited here with the forced fumble. We have a little bit of a two-back system here. Young, the one carrying there. But could we be going to our other back here after a fumble? You got to think that's got to be the case. Over the middle, it's broken up by C.J. Taylor. Continues to be a big-time playmaker. So the defense bails the offense out this time, forcing another field goal attempt. This one is good. 2 for 3 on field goals already. Defense doing a good job once they get in field goal range to tighten up. Nice throw out for a gain of 9 there. Makes it 2nd and 1. Vanderbilt gonna run the hurry up. Johnson under center now. He's back to pass into the flats. He's got a man. That is Micah Bell. 97 speed on Micah Bell. Somebody that you've got to be really excited about here for the future of this offense. Should be somebody that we're able to get going early and often. Hopefully, he should have a big year. Not only this year, but I think going forward, it'll be a really big factor here for the offense. 103 passing yards and a touchdown for Johnson in the first quarter. Yeah, I think he'll take that. He's been really good. 3rd and 3. Going over the middle, and he has his back. Henderson takes a massive shot, but holds on to it. 1st and 10 in Virginia Tech territory now. Faking the give to the back. Throwing, and it's caught. Over on that left sideline. What a catch. We're now in the fringe red zone. Under center once more is Johnson. Dropping back to pass. He throws to the right sideline, and it's hauled in by Micah Bell once again. This hurry-up offense is relentless. Rarely do we let this play clock get down near 0 at all. Gain of 8 there on the RPO. Brings up 2nd and 2. Johnson in the gun. Has Henderson by him. RPO, and it's a touchdown. Vanderbilt. The 2nd already for this offense. And Junior Sherrill, one of the best players on this team as a sophomore, had a really big role to play here in this drive. Had a nice catch on the left sideline prior, and then hauls this one in the end zone. You love to see just how well this offense is clicking. It's 17-6 in favor of our Commodores. Home field advantage seems to be giving us a lot of favor so far. But Virginia Tech, a lot of success running that rock here. And their running back is tough to bring down. I think you're seeing the desperate need for speed, especially at that linebacker position, come into play here in this first game already. Spelling their starter here for a carry. Gain of 6 for Thomas, it looked like, on the back of his jersey. 2nd and 4. Virginia Tech has entered Vanderbilt territory, and a nice catch. The man draped over him by Allie Jennings. Moves the chains for Virginia Tech. This one going to be a wide receiver screen, and the blocking is perfect. Really like the play call there by Virginia Tech, and it gets them in the red zone. They, much like Vanderbilt, love to run the hurry up, especially when they get things going. They like to keep that momentum rolling, and spinning off a tackle is Allie Jennings, and he's into the end zone. This guy is tough to cover, and he's also tough to bring down once he has the ball in his hands. A very talented receiver we're going against today. Our corners, I think, and our secondary in general is the strength probably of this team, but they are, for the most part, still really young. The only senior starter in our secondary is CJ Taylor, and he is our best one. But this secondary still has some room to grow with our sophomores and juniors, and even our true freshmen starting. Great way to start this next drive by Nathan Johnson. He continues to impress with his arm. Thought that 95 speed would be the showcase here today, but he is staying in the pocket and he's slinging it with success. Like this play design here to get 97 speed the ball with a chance to run after the catch, and he gets the first down. Now 3rd and 4, empty formation, changing up the play so we can get Henderson on the drag route for a first down and more. Into field goal territory here. Time winding down now, halfway through the second quarter. Johnson throws underneath, and it is caught for a gain of 6. Love these little rolled up uniforms here. Adds a different kind of aesthetic here. And we got Micah down in for a goal line opportunity. 2nd and goal, and maybe got a little bit of the face mask there on Johnson, but no call. So it'll be 3rd and goal from the 1. Can Vanderbilt punch it in? They're going to Henderson. He dives. Don't know if he got there, but there's a flag. Anyway, it looked like Vanderbilt offensive linemen were trying to celebrate here, but it's not going to matter. It looked like it would have been 4th and goal if they declined, so it was not ruled a touchdown. They accepted it anyway to save us from going for it from the 1-inch yard line, and they're going to regret the decision as Stower will score the 3rd passing touchdown of this first half. What an absolute clinic here in his Vanderbilt debut from Nathan Johnson. I mean, just pretty much perfection from the quarterback spot. What we've seen from him so far, could not be more impressed with his debut. Empty formation for Virginia Tech, and they get a receiver open for a first down. It'll be the running back. 2nd and 5, throwing to the right, and breaking a tackle is the tight end, and into Vanderbilt territory. We've been doing a good job forcing Virginia Tech into field goals, but they've been pretty much able to get into field goal range at will. And of course, bend don't break is better than a defense that just consistently breaks. But I'd love to see a little bit more fight before we kind of get our backs up against the wall. As that excellent catch from Jennings gets them in that fringe red zone. Man in motion, it looks like Vanderbilt's changing things on the back end. Underneath here, and catch and run yardage all the way down to the 5. It's 1st and goal. Both of these offenses really playing at a high pace and really getting a lot of success doing it. 2nd and goal now at the 3-yard line for the Hokies here. Down to a minute left in the first half, and the dive from the tailback will score the 2nd consecutive Virginia Tech touchdown. At first quarter, we were holding them to field goals, but now they're turning into touchdowns and things are getting dangerous. Malachi Thomas extends, crosses the goal line, and makes it just a 4-point game as we have less than a minute here to try to drive down the field. A good completion there. Thomas now connects past the sticks. We'll call a timeout. 31 seconds remain at the 49-yard line. What can we cook up? Johnson past the sticks. It's caught by Stower again. He has been heavily involved here in this first half. 27 seconds now. Inside the 25. We've got a throw to number 3. Unfortunately, unable to connect. That'll bring up second down. Empty. Over the middle is Micah Bell. Down to the 10, now first and goal. Clock is running, 13 seconds. Counting down to 10 before they get to the snap. Johnson going to the end zone, and it's picked off. You can't throw an interception. He's been perfect pretty much this entire game. But with guaranteed points available, we had the timeouts. You just got to protect the ball there. We could have at least extended it to a 7-point game, if not a 2-score game, prior to the half. But with that being the only blemish on an otherwise perfect offensive performance in the first half, I can't complain too hard. 316 yards on 32 attempts. We are not running the ball very often, and when we do, it's not particularly successful. So I can't blame us for continually going to the air. And Johnson has just been a field general. I thought we'd be running some read options, thought he'd be scrambling some more. But the pocket's held up for the most part, which is another surprise. And we're taking advantage. Micah Bell here to start the second half, and he instantly fumbles. The jet touch pass here is a fumble, and those Virginia Tech defenders are in sync celebrating the turnover. That is not the way you want to start the second half, and I believe Dalen Jones was the one who forced the previous fumble as well. He's having himself quite the game. And just like that, it's pretty much an instant first and goal for Virginia Tech. Come on. I mean, with 15 seconds left in the first half, looked like we might go up 2 scores, and now all of a sudden we might be giving up the lead, but a hold there does help our chances for keeping Virginia Tech out of the end zone on this drive. That play will get them down to the 10 for third and goal. Tough to get third and goal from the 10. And going for the middle of the field, unfortunately for Virginia Tech. It is broken up. 2 Vanderbilt defenders in the area, and Vanderbilt gets to keep the lead, although it's now been slimmed down to just 1. 23-24, instantly in a 3rd and 10 as well. Forced to go to the screen for Henderson, but a nice block thrown gets him the first down yardage. From the 38, we've got a fresh set of downs. Johnson in the gun. Hands off to Henderson, and nobody blocked their linebacker. It's a loss of 3. One play later, 3rd and 9, and all of a sudden, Virginia Tech's front 7 is giving our protection nightmares, and we have to punt it away. Punting has not been something you've been seeing in this game so far. Don't want to start doing it now. A nice run there sets up 2nd and inches. And another give is going to give Virginia Tech a fresh set of downs. Just shy of the 40-yard line for this snap. And it's another one of those wide receiver screens, and just a beautiful play design. Those blocks get set up perfectly. I might be setting up a custom playbook for this series, and if I do, I'm going to be looking towards that wide receiver screenplay. But hold on a minute, we've got a big play from the defense. We needed them to step up and create a turnover. The offense has unfortunately been giving the ball away a little bit too much here in this game. Time for the defense to come up with a turnover. Of course, they did on that opening drive as well, but sophomore Martell Heights coming up with a big play, helping our Vanderbilt Commodores out in a big way. We desperately needed a splash defensive play like that. Now from midfield, changing up the play is Johnson. He fakes the give to Henderson. going deep with it, and he's got a man! It's a touchdown! The juke and the score. What a play. His second touchdown of the day. That's why folks around Vanderbilt are so excited about sophomore receiver Junior Sherrill. Johnson doesn't have the greatest deep accuracy, but you don't need pinpoint accuracy when you're running that wide open through the middle of the field. Under 3 minutes to go here in the third. Scrambling towards the left and somehow getting away from all the mess for a big gain all the way into Vanderbilt territory. What a scramble. That's the kind of stuff I thought we'd be seeing from Johnson. So far, he's been doing all of his harm with his arm. From the 47. Changing some stuff up at the line. Virginia Tech will run another one of those wide receiver screens. Good success once more. Second and 2. It'll be a read option, and nice vision there to cut it inside with the hole. Third and 10 now for Virginia Tech. Can we get off the field? No, not this time. Had a man open, and true freshman Carter there in coverage. Virginia Tech towards the end zone on 3rd and 5, and it is broken up. Once again, this Vanderbilt defense holding strong in the red zone, forcing another field goal attempt. And it is off the mark, off the crossbar again. The second miss of the day for this Virginia Tech kicker. Not his best performance. Nice run there. Set up a 3rd and 2 for this offense. Not being quite as explosive here in the second half, but still plenty of time to go, and a nice grab by Junior over there. Johnson goes to the check down on 3rd and 8, and it's going to be just short of the line to gain, and we're going to punt on 4th and inches from the 45. I suppose nursing an 8-point lead, you can defend it, but man, oh man, you don't want to give Virginia Tech hope. They're going to have the ball here to start the 4th quarter. This stadium is rocking about as much as it can here. Not quite able to fill the poles. What is 29 doing on that play? My goodness. An easy first down for Virginia Tech on the option when our defenders are just running with no purpose. Ali Jennings. Been a minute since we've heard from him, but he's always a threat. And now back-to-back plays here. Picks up another first down. 2nd and 5 for Virginia Tech. Faking the give, and is picked off by the true freshman. The best freshman from last year's recruiting class, instantly getting free safety reps, and now you see why. Somebody that we hope factors in for this team for the next 4 years. Dante Carter. His first career interception in his first career game. 2nd and 2 there will become 3rd and 2 after the offense is stopped, going straight into the hurry-up. Under 5 minutes left to play. Vanderbilt needs a scoring drive here, but we're going to get stopped up short on 3rd and 2. You have 2nd and 2, and 2 runs couldn't get you the first. That's a tough look. Perhaps it's time to give Young another chance here in the backfield. He sat most of this game after the early fumble. Maybe use the extra step. But first things first, this defense has to get another stop. Haven't been able to force Virginia Tech to to punt. It's basically been field goals or turnovers have been the only things you could quantify as stops here in this game. 2nd and 3 already in Vanderbilt territory. Touch pass, and that play just doesn't work quite as good with the CPU as it does with when there's somebody using it. We'll bring up 3rd and 4. Plenty of time in the pocket, all day to throw, and finds a man eventually. Tough to cover for that long if you're not going to even pressure the quarterback. 1st and 10 from the 30. Stadium pool starting to get a little bit lower here. We need it louder than ever. And finding a man on the corner route inside the 10. Wow, 3rd and goal now from the 4. Under 3 minutes to play. And incomplete. That'll bring up 4th and goal. A stop here, and it goes a long way towards securing a victory towards Ali Jennings. He caught it. Who else could it be in a must-have situation for this Virginia Tech team? And just like that, we're a 2-point conversion away from this game being all tied up. I thought Vanderbilt was about to cruise its way to a victory, but just the offense coming to a complete halt in the second half was not something I had on the bingo card. And then the 2-point conversion is easy. We're all tied up. Offense needs to wake up. We put our other running back in the game, and it looks like it's a good decision. He instantly gets 15. We needed a play like that. Approaching the 2-minute warning, newly added to college football. And this run's going nowhere. Right back to him, but this time a loss of 2. Second and 12. Play action. And getting rushed on both sides. Johnson unable to get the pass off. Just like that, it's 3rd and 12. Not looking good. Gonna just go for the screen, our own version of the wide receiver screen. Got a few yards, but not nearly what we needed. On 3rd and 12, so we have to punt the ball back to Virginia Tech. But oh, what a punt it was, all the way down to the 3. The punter getting involved and making a clutch play for us. Now Virginia Tech has to go 97 yards. And you can't give up a big run play after pinning your opponent down at the 3. Patterson gets the interception. It's all forgiven. But he fumbled it. No! Virginia Tech back on top. We would have had the ball. 90 seconds to go. Field goal range. All but ready to win this game. Patterson made the play of the game, but then lost it. Vanderbilt fans seem to be cheering. I don't think they know that we lost the ball. Ali Jennings, a big-time completion. Out near the 40, just like that. Starting at the 3. Turning the ball over, but getting it back. Everything seems to be coming up Virginia Tech here. That one's incomplete. Down to 1 minute and 4 seconds remaining. Need a big stop from the defense. We get a completion to Ali Jennings instead. He's been very heavily involved in the 1st and 4th quarters. Back to pass. All day to throw. You can't leave him that much time. Virginia Tech calls another timeout. Inside the Vanderbilt 30. Give to the running back. No, he pulled it. And it's a big-time run. Another Virginia Tech first down. Vanderbilt trying to preserve some time for themselves here, using their timeouts, but now they're all gone. Down to 43 seconds. Virginia Tech just looking to sit on this ball and force a field goal at the last second. I can't believe it. Another give here. I'm surprised they're not trying to put that ball in the middle. We're going to force him to kick from the hash here. Under 10 seconds to go now. 3rd and 4. Should still be easy either way. It's just a 25-yard field goal. And he missed it! Oh my, he missed it with a second left. Virginia Tech got him all the way down the field for a 25-yard field goal. He missed his 3rd kick of the game. Little refresher on the overtime rules for you as we head there in our opening game. I mean, I know CPU versus CPU isn't for everybody, but how can you not enjoy the gameplay of this game, man? That's why I love CPU versus CPU. This is all done. I had nothing to do with it. I'm just sitting back, enjoying, commentating it for you guys. And that's what makes, you know, franchise/dynasty mode so fun for me. An early 3rd and 1 here in the overtime period. Quarterback's going to keep it, and he's going down behind the line. 4th and 1, then they decide to kick it with a kicker who's missed 3 field goals already here today. This one, he is going to drill it. Not going to miss another one. I probably wouldn't have trusted him to make that kick. Vanderbilt now has a chance to win the game with a touchdown. The 3rd and 4 is converted by Micah Bell. Got 1st and 10 now from the 13. Johnson over the middle to Store, and he's in for the score. Vanderbilt with the win. Walk-off victory in overtime. 34-37. What a way to start the series. Oh my goodness. If this doesn't get you hyped up for Vanderbilt football going forward, I don't know what will. Underdogs in this game, but at home, just an absolutely surgical performance by our quarterback. Save a late first half touchdown. Big plays, turnovers, missed kicks, pretty much everything that makes college football an absolute delight. I love the overtime format in college football as well. Super fun to get to see it already. Let's go through our player performances. 5 touchdown passes for Johnson. Threw the ball 50 times today for 441 yards. We might need to take a look at quarter length going forward. We had 2 teams that love to run the hurry up, so you were going to get more plays in this game. We had 3 players with 9 catches today. 2 touchdowns for Sherrill. He was awesome despite being 4th in the team in catches. Also 2 touchdowns for Stowers. 2 pretty big touchdowns at that. Of course, including the walk-off game winner. Had some tackles for loss in this game. Ran the ball a lot. And had 3 picks as well. No sacks. Defense, I think, came up clutch when we needed it to. Has struggled to keep the team from driving until it got into field goal range. What a game. I understand CPU versus CPU isn't for everybody, but after a game like that, can you really blame me for preferring this type of franchise/dynasty series? I'm going to call it franchise for the foreseeable future. It's been the only word I've used for this GM experience now for many years. We have 20 points to spend, and I would like to just kind of get all the way full in offensive line. Not going to get this 4th tier. I don't know if I ever will, but for now, getting the increased starting interest doesn't really help us out for the rest of the year, and I do want that boost for the rest of the year. So the question becomes, what do we do here with our final 10 points? I think there are a lot of areas that we need. I think with our defensive line being so veteran laden that we're going to need some heavy defensive line investment here in the near future. So we're going to go with defensive line here. Linebacker was also heavily in consideration, as was wide receiver, tight end. The defensive back, I think just because we have so many good young players, wasn't in consideration quite yet, even though it does touch a lot of positions. But these 4 spots, O-line, D-line, linebacker, DB, and then wide receiver and tight end, they all touch many positions, whereas halfback and quarterback, you're really only getting, one starter here and a couple here. So that's why I'm prioritizing these positions that are just going to give us more boost to more players that we end up recruiting. Ultimately, I think the goal will be to have the first 3 levels at least in all of those positions, except maybe kicker, punter, except probably kicker and punter. I don't see myself really valuing that position enough to spend my limited coach points on it. So we see that despite the victory, our brand exposure goes down to C, and all of a sudden our true freshman Carter is at a high risk of transferring. So is Patterson, so is Heights. 3 of our biggest studs for the next couple of years all of a sudden want to leave. And so maybe defensive back is going to be a bigger need. If Height and Carter transfer, we're going to be looking at a very different level of secondary next year. Let's talk about recruiting here for the next week. We've jumped up to a pretty considerable lead here with Hayes. We've also got a nice lead on Baldridge, Flynn, Kuhn. McCreary is getting recruited pretty heavily here, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that. We've got good leads pretty much everywhere here, though, at least of the guys that we're actually putting time into so far. Time to continue, I think, scouting these players that we have. And we get another gem. 88 speed at safety is good enough, I think, to keep on the board. 70 zone coverage. Not elite, but a 3-star gem is going to earn himself a scholarship offer here for our squad. And despite not really putting much time and effort at all into this guy, we already know 2 of his desired things here. I think we're going to go with contact friends and family here. Also want to put a little bit more time into these players. That means that we can't get the running back scouted. That's fine by me. I really want to make sure that we're being competitive with these guys that we know are good. I think we'll have time to do both, honestly. Yeah, still got 65 hours remaining. Don't think we need to add any for the time being with these guys. Now, Kuhn, we could spend 40 hours to schedule a visit. I think the fact that we still only know 1 of his desired pitches here, that we will hold off for now. So now we're going to take a look here at Rashad Doman. So far, that speed looking good. And all of a sudden looking a little bit worse here. Ends up being 88. Not sure this is gonna be good enough for me. So we're gonna take that off instead. We did get the ability to put a little bit extra on the offensive line here. I think we could spend those 15 hours just trying to really get Kuhn here to show us what his other 2 ideal pitches are. We're going to put 65 hours here. Hopefully that can at least get us that second ideal pitch. And then we can, from there, probably take a good guess as to what the third is, hopefully. So that's what we're going to do here for recruiting this week. Now, a staple of my series is that I don't play every game, or in this case, watch every game. Typically, the pace I like to go out is about watching half the games and doing a watch 1, sim 1 episode to go through 2 weeks per episode. Now, in the past, I've kind of done that religiously every single episode. I don't think I'm going to be quite as, militarily following that in this series. I think some episodes we might go through 2 weeks. Some episodes, especially if, we have back-to-back rivalry games, I'm not simming any of those. I want to watch both. So we'll roughly be getting, I would say, 6 or 7 episodes per season in this series, unless, of course, we make bowl games and college football playoffs, then it will be extended. But for a regular season, somewhere around that 6 to 7 episode range, I think will be the pace that we will be going at here in the series. So we're going to go ahead and simulate this game against FCS. Now, even in the games that we do sim, I like to watch via Super Sim, and maybe if it's close in the last few minutes, we can hop in at that point. So that will be the plan here for this matchup against the UGF Pandas. Now, this should not be a game that we have to hop into for the final minutes to see how it plays out. This should be a game that Vanderbilt handles pretty easily, and we could, just like that in episode 1, already have matched the win total from last season. Let's go ahead now and start this simulation. Vanderbilt marches right down the field and gets 10 early points here, make it 17-0 here in the first quarter. Pretty confident to kind of just go to the end of the game at this point. 24-0 now, make it 31. UGF finally gets on the board here, but 31-7 at the half. Vanderbilt continues to pile it on here. You absolutely love to see it. Building up those stats, and we get a 48-10 win over our FCS opponent, and we're off to a 2-0 start. Quarterback Nate Johnson's got to be feeling pretty good. Quincy Skinner, 14 catches for 201 yards and 5 touchdowns today. He was absolutely balling. Taking advantage of this secondary that can't be too filled with many studs here. 5 touchdowns, no interceptions for Nate Johnson today. He continues to have an excellent start. We'll see how that goes once we get into our conference play here. But we got better at running the ball here. We got Johnson, who carried 17 times today. Young got 11 carries. Alexander got 9. All of them average at least 4 yards a carry. I'd like to see that. Of course, Skinner, we knew had a dominant game. Bell ends up with 7 catches. Only 3 for 31 for Sherrill. Probably got to work on getting him a little bit more involved as we go along. Don't know how we guarantee that. We did allow 1 sack today, but that's not bad at all. In terms of sacks of our own, we were very productive in this game. What is that, 7 sacks I'm thinking I'm seeing there? No interceptions, unfortunately. Did get a few TFLs. Did we force any fumbles? No, we did not. So didn't force any turnovers. We were just shutting the offense down throughout the game for the most part, and that is a very good start to this rebuild. Virginia Tech, I think, was a very good win to kick it off, and then, of course, got the job done that we needed to here against our easy win opponent. You know, when you're in the SEC, you got to schedule some of those because you're not going to get many easy wins following that, and our brand exposure remains at C. Don't think it's really anything we can do to increase it is the problem here. Do we get SEC Defensive Player of the Week? 5 TFLs and 2 sacks for Prince Colley here. You absolutely love to see it. Also got SEC Offensive Player of the Week. No surprise there. 5 touchdowns is just absolutely insane at the wide receiver spot. I mean, and because of that, he's getting National Offensive Player of the Week. Again, no surprise there. 200 yards and 5 touchdowns. I mean, some players get that in a season. 5 touchdowns, at least 200 yards would be pretty low in a season. So far, looking pretty good here for the scouting. I think with our 85 hours, do we have more info on Kuhn here? We still don't know his pitches, despite putting 65 hours in this week. That is odd. I think we might use these 85 hours, maybe even take off the 15 here if it's not going to help us get any more info here. Bring this back down to 50. We've got 100 hours to play with. I'm going to take a look, find some players, and I'll introduce them to you in the next episode. That's all I've got for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back soon with more Vanderbilt football. And I'll see you then. Anchor down.